Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Kayfabe with Keaton. What a great guest we have coming on here. Man, director, stunning Stu Parker, and the showman CJ Mohan. Welcome in, everyone.
The pleasure is all yours.
Pleasure's all yours. Jinx.
Hey.
Great minds.
So, who do you think are the stars aligned?
Who do we think are the stars aligned?
Who are the
Well-
stars aligned? How would you describe the stars aligned?
Well, I mean, it's in
That's
the
the
name.
best faction in all of Titanic.
Exactly, Madam Director. We are exactly what we say. We are three stars that happen to be in the same company, in the same place, at the same time, trying to achieve the same goals. We're three stars who together are unstoppable.
And how did you guys all end up teaming together?
Well, that's a long story.
That is.
The long story is, these two kept losing. And I had invested a lot of time and effort and decided, you know what? I'm going to create two stars. And I have. And here we are on Kayfabe with Keaton.
And how would you describe your character, Madam Director?
My character is a strong, feisty woman full of talent who can spot talent a mile away.
And stunning Stu Parker, how would you describe your character?
Well, I am simply the best. I am the best in the ring. I'm the best looking. I'm just the best all around.
And incredibly stunning. Incredibly stunning.
You forgot to
Stunning.
say that bit.
And what was it like? What was your first memory of wrestling as a kid? First.
Who's going first?
Stu, you go first, sure.
Yeah. So my dad, back in like 99, 2000, got a PS1 and just happened to get WWF Warzone for it. And I was like enthralled with that as a kid, just obviously not playing. I was like 2 years old, but I would just sit and stare at the TV. My uncle was a big wrestling fan, so he just gave me all his old VHS tapes from the 80s, like all Survivor Series, WrestleMania, SummerSlams, all those stuff. And yeah, just was obsessed. One of my earliest childhood memories is seeing Hulk Hogan superplex the Big Boss Man off a steel cage on Saturday night's main event, and I was hooked from there.
What about you, CJ Mohan?
My first memories of wrestling. My first memory of wrestling was seeing the Big Show chokeslam the Undertaker through the ring. And I was like, what the hell is this? Then I discovered The Rock, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. And I was like, that is everything that I am. So I was like, this has to be my career, obviously. So then the dream went from there.
And how would you describe the stars aligned as a whole?
Well, Madam Director, would you like to take this?
You go ahead. I described what the stars aligned are already.
The stars aligned are something that professional wrestling is not ready for. Nobody wanted us to come on to the scene and make as big of an impact as we did. There's plans for every other team in this promotion. But what we did is that we came on and we proved that we are the best looking, the most entertaining by a country mile faction, not just in Titanic wrestling, but in all of Irish wrestling. And now no one knows what to do with us, but because we're now the biggest merch sellers in all of Titanic. And we steal the show every single show that we're on. So 2025, one way or another, is going to be ours, and it's going to belong to the stars.
Oh no, what has just happened? The recording has just stopped. Went off
broke up a
recording.
bit there, Keaton. What?
It just went off recording there.
He can't get the staff,
That's okay.
CJ. He's having to do it all by himself today.
I know. 1 minute. I'll
In
have to try to get back on again.
Take your time. You're all good.
We're back on live. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. So, what wrestler do you think is most like you?
To who?
Like what wrestler would you describe your character most like yours?
Well, there's a little bit of The Rock in me. There's a little bit of Chris Jericho in me, and there's just a lot of me in me. What about you, Stunning Stu?
Um, well, obviously, quite a bit of Shawn Michaels has inspired me over the years. Big fan of the Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton and Dennis Condrey, Sweet Stan Lane. They've been huge inspirations. Technically, in the ring, I have looked up to Bret Hart for as long as I've been watching wrestling. So those are my guys.
And what about you, Madam Director?
I would say I see a lot of Toni Storm in myself. She is a huge inspiration for my character, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I see a lot of the entrepreneurship of the Don Callis family. I take inspiration from that too. I take notes. Look at the stars he's created.
Excellent answer, Madam Director.
And how did you get into pro wrestling training?
Me?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. Literally, I just decided one day I want to try it. I like just a fan of wrestling and I wonder can I do this? And here we are. So I've been at Titanic for about like 2 years, I think. So it's been a long journey, but not really at the same time.
And Stunning Stu Parker.
So it's been something I've literally wanted to do since I was knee high to a grasshopper. Literally my entire life, this has been my dream. From wrestling on a trampoline when I was 5, 6 years old, as most kids can attest to. You just really want that. It's all you want whenever you're as obsessed with wrestling as I was when I was a kid and still am. And then probably around 2015, 2016, Pro Wrestling Ulster was still around, and I was trying to look into their training school, but the timing just didn't work out because I was going away to university at the time. And then I got back, COVID happened. Unfortunately, that put those plans on hold. And then I just happened to see I was still following Tucker for all those years while I was away at university, and I saw him sharing a story that Titanic was recruiting new students, and immediately I was like, I have to do this. Sent him a message. He put me on to JDP, and I've been with Titanic ever since.
So you were trying to get even in from even PW days?
Yeah. Timing just didn't work out then.
And CJ Mohan, how did you first get into training?
Actually, much like Stunning Stu Parker, I very nearly joined in the PWU days myself. I met a group of wrestlers on a bus one time back in 2013, and that was my future planned out. At that point, I was going to start wrestling, and that was going to be me because I wanted to be a wrestler since I was a kid. Then real life took over. I got into drama school, and then acting took over from there for the best part of the next 7 or 8 years. So this whole critically acclaimed actor thing, that is not a gimmick. I ended up being a professional actor up until COVID-19 cancelled a year worth of acting work for me. And then I was like, what the hell do I do now? And I found myself in lockdown watching nothing but pro wrestling, going, it's now or never for me to try this. And so the very first Titanic wrestling trainee class that happened post lockdown, I joined.
And who trained you?
Well, JDP, Tucker, and Rocky Star, I think, trained all three of us, with later additions from the Dark Horse and a few others along the way.
And do you have your eyes set on a Titanic Tag Team Gold?
You bet.
Of course.
It's not even a question, do we have our eyes set on it?
Mm.
We are going to be Titanic Tag Team Champions in 2025.
And why is it not round your waist yet?
Do you believe
We
it?
got screwed out of it.
Things get in the way, Keaton.
Little bald men get in the way.
Little bald men get in the way, kicking us in the Golden Globes mid-tag team gauntlet. Do you want us to go into the story, Keaton? Because you've riled me up now.
Things come up.
Well, do you have your eyes on singles gold yet?
He just
Well, I'll
thinks
put it this way.
he just thinks he
Sorry,
can
go on.
ask questions after insulting us like that. Why have you not got tag team gold yet? We haven't got tag team gold because we were screwed out of it by a crooked referee who now we have business to deal with. The promoter does not want us to be tag team champions, so we're now wrestling him. The referee did not want us to be tag team champions, so now we're wrestling them. Everyone is trying to stop us being tag team champions because they know that with Madam Director by our side, there is nothing that can stop us from being Titanic tag team champions.
And
So
nothing has stopped you as of yet.
Mhm.
nothing. Ever
You
since
never
Madam
got your opportunity. That's your
Never.
answer, Keaton.
But to
As
me,
far
it
as
seems.
singles gold goes, let me just put it out there. Gary Gibson has never pinned me one-on-one.
Never.
But when you talk about being treated unfairly and the promoter treating you unfairly, it seems like every match you have, you cheat in every single match you've had.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why are we throwing
That is a
accusations
serious
around here,
accusation.
Keaton?
I'm shocked.
This is blatant disrespect. We're giving you the stars aligned time right now, and you're just leveling that kind of accusation against us.
Keaton, I thought you were better than this. That's why
And
we're
anyway,
here.
what was your debut match like, Madam Director, against the bad guys?
I won, didn't I? I pinned Morgana, didn't I? I pinned Morgana, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Nothing short of
Center
spectacular,
ring,
Keaton.
fair and square.
Nothing short of spectacular, Keaton. You gonna say that I cheated in that as well?
You did.
No, I did not.
How did she cheat?
I pinned
I
Morgana
never
fair and
personally
square.
saw Madam Director cheating in that match.
I did not cheat, Keaton. I pinned
What's
her
the
fair
key?
and square as the
What
better
do you think is the
wrestler.
key to perfecting characters in pro wrestling?
He loves he loves it inside us, and then just completely bat it away. Once he gets us riled up, he just
I
changes.
didn't even get to hear your question, Keaton. I was still finishing my sentence.
Repeat the question for Madam Director.
So obviously the Stars Aligned are very good characters in Titanic wrestling. What do you think is the key to perfecting a character in pro wrestling?
To who?
Mm. Who's this?
To CJ Mohan.
The key to well, you have to believe in what you're doing. Okay, character is a very overused word in pro wrestling because I think that anyone that tries to portray a character will be 9 times out of 10 very unbelievable and very indie-rific. I think what you have to do is that you have to have a core element of yourself that you are portraying, that you are channeling. You have to believe in that, and you have to be confident enough to maximize that to 11. And then if you do that, and if you're lucky enough, like I am lucky enough to be working with such amazing co-stars that bring out more star and shining qualities in you, then you will continually shine brighter, whether that's in the match or in promos. But you have to believe in what you're doing, and the public have to buy what you're selling. That's how I believe is the key to a good character in wrestling.
It's not just a
And,
character, it's a feeling.
Yeah.
and whatever happened to the Hallions, CJ Mohan?
How much time have you got? So, do you really want me to answer that question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the Hallions, as you know, was my introduction to wrestling. Myself and Redmond started training together. Let me ask, do you have any brothers?
No.
You don't have any brothers, okay. Well, if you did have brothers, then you might know that sometimes you're on each other's sides and sometimes you absolutely hate each other and want to kill each other. Myself and Redmond were together through 2022. And did you ever see us wrestle?
Yeah, I've seen you wrestle before.
Well, I don't think that. Would you agree that there's an argument to be made that we were the hottest tag team in Irish wrestling at the time?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, okay. So we had that kind of success. And then what happened is that the Savers of Destiny gave me a concussion. Were you there when that happened?
I watched the match. I didn't see there was a concussion.
Oh yeah, no, the Saviours of Destiny. We came out to help Miley Grace, and then they gave me a concussion afterwards. Okay, that put me on the shelf for quite a few months. What Redmond did in that time is that he went on and tried to take all the glory that I helped make for us and use it just for himself. He started calling himself the Hallian Redmond. You're getting me wound up with old stories here, okay? But he started to do this, whereas meanwhile, what I did, I went back to my roots, and I started to get acting job after acting job, and I became critically acclaimed in New York City. That didn't sit very well with him. So I come back proud of my success, and he is resentful of me and disrespects me while I'm away. So let's just say when I did return, we did not get on very well.
And what are you thinking about the new Redmond that we're seeing, not the face Redmond, the one that's been possessed by McGalloway the Clown? Does that not worry you at all?
Oh, he's going through his golf phase. Let him. It's fine.
Jealousy's an ugly disease, Keaton.
You know, me and
Look what
Redmond
happens to you.
me and Redmond are happy enough just not looking in each other's direction, and may it stay that way for a long, long time. Because right now, I have true partners, true associates, and true people that watch my back and bring me success. Stunning Stu Parker and Madame Director. What more could I want?
And when you were starting out in pro wrestling, this is a question for everyone. So CJ Mohan, go first. So when you were starting out in pro wrestling, what was the toughest move to master?
The toughest move to master? Well, I find everything rather easy personally. Um, I would say that there's a couple of moves that I have yet to whip out in actual matches that you'll probably see soon that I've found a bit tricky, but I don't want to let you know what they are. I want you to see for yourself. Stun and Stu, what do you think?
Very similarly, got a couple of tricks up my sleeve, some moves I've been working on. It's taken me a little while, but I think I finally got them ready. You'll be seeing them very soon.
And for you, Madam Director, what's been the toughest move for you to master?
An exactly similar story, Keaton. I'm not giving away my secrets. I'm not letting the people know what I can do and what I can't do. There's very little that I can't do. That's all I'll say.
And for Mohan, when you won that battle royal, how did it feel? When you won the battle royal with the cup, the Titanic Cup, how did that feel for you?
Vindication. For those of you that don't know, to win this trophy, Keaton, were you there?
No, I wasn't at that one.
You weren't at that one. Well, what you did is you missed history on that day. Because what I did to win this trophy is that I beat damn near every single wrestler on the Titanic roster. People go on about their Titanic championship, All Ulster championship, Tag Team championship. I beat everyone to get this. And then I wrestled later again that day. So, as of yet, it's been nearly a year and no one has taken this off me. So this was vindication, Keaton.
And for everyone here, what's your most favorite match you've ever had?
The one where I pinned Morgana. That's my favorite, Keaton.
What about you, Stu?
Let me see. I think personally, tough choice, tough choice. I'm usually great in all my matches. Although we were screwed at the end, yet again, surprise. When we took on Rocky Starr and Gary Gibson, that was a personal favorite of mine.
See, that was before me.
That
you
was a
lost.
turning point.
The very first stars aligned match.
Mm-hmm. History.
History was made.
And CJ Mohan, what was your most favorite match?
Oh, now there's a lot of them. Um, I would say the match where I faced Redmond in West Belfast in February of this year was vindication because we got to unleash a year's worth of frustration on each other. So, but I would also say that the match against Gary Gibson and Rocky Starr, even though we did get pretty screwed over in the end, this is pre Madam Director, but at the
Just
same,
like everybody know that.
absolutely, they need to know it because we have not lost with you by our side. Let me just make that clear again. But having
Undefeated,
said that,
baby.
I did a year with the Hallions. People still talk about the Hallions to me, but I've never had chemistry with someone the way we did our first night in, and that's when I knew that we were going to be champions.
And what is a typical training session like for the Stars Aligned?
When we're all
Madame,
there. Well, when we're all actually there, well, the boys like to teach me a lot of things, right? They teach me the moves that they do, and they teach me some new moves that nobody else on the roster does. Okay. We also have sometimes they'll bring in Pablo and Miguel. I don't really like that, and I've spoken to them about it before.
They're masters of lucha libre. You gotta give
masters,
them that.
It's a
absolute
waste of
masters.
time. It's a waste of time.
The Cancun tag team champions.
In fairness,
Can't argue
yeah,
with that.
yeah, we did just beat them in Rio de Janeiro, but
Anyway, I've been trained by the best tag team in Titanic. So
And when you talk about Pablo and Miguel, that probably wasn't the best moment for the Stars Aligned when you went in Max and thought that you could have a second chance in the Gauntlet match and win the tag team titles. How did you feel after it when the DJ unmasked you?
well,
Screwed.
look, exactly, Stu. Exactly. We were just screwed because what happened? We came out for the first match against Daddy Daycare. Do you remember that, Keaton? And what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Do you
DNA.
remember what happened?
Bell didn't even ring.
Bell
Yeah, you
didn't
were caught.
even ring. Who was in the ring? DJ in the ring once again. We were talking. People buy tickets to see us talk at these shows. You buy tickets to see us talk at these shows. We were giving the fans what they want. And what Daddy Daycare did is that they jumped us, completely blindsided us. And the referee thought that that was an official start to the match. So we get unjustly eliminated. Unjustly eliminated. And then what had happened then, we were like, well, okay, we are going to channel our good friends and frequent opponents, Pablo and Miguel. They didn't mind. We channeled them. And then what happened? DJ stuck his ugly bald head in again, ripped the masks from our heads mid match, completely distracting us. And then, of course, the Buys jumped us and then got a sneaky win out there. Do you think the Buys could beat us if that didn't happen?
100%.
We had them reeling. We were on our way to becoming tag team champions.
Did
if
you
I
just
remember,
A little bald gnome got involved.
it was the Conswater crowd who got behind Pablo and Miguel, not the Bice. They wanted Pablo and Miguel to win. They thought Pablo and Miguel were going to win. Now, I've had my opinions on Pablo and Miguel, but we all know who it was. And we all know who they are.
You
What's
just
the
said
worst injury you ever
100%
had?
the Buys beating us?
Yeah, 100%.
Should we terminate this interview right now? This is complete and
Should we
utter
call it cut?
disrespect.
Don't make us call a cut, Keaton.
We will call a cut.
Well, a comment in here from Nicholas Woodell. You must know him. He says hi.
Who's
Who?
this?
Who's Nicholas
I don't know
Woodell?
this man. Hello,
Hello.
Hi.
I guess.
I hope you purchased a snow globe.
I wonder if you're employed. Ask him, Keaton. Ask him if he purchased a snow globe at the last show. If he's
At
going to
least a photo.
get in our chat. Keaton, did you purchase a snow globe at our last show?
No, no.
Hold on. We would not have granted this interview if we had have known this. You do understand. The next time there's a piece of Stars Align merch, you be the first to buy it. Got it?
Right, okay. But what's the worst injury you've ever had in pro wrestling?
I've been fortunate enough not to have had anything too serious. There was one training session where I was working with former Titanic champion Bobby Diamond, and I went for a jawbreaker. He, not too sure what happened. Whatever way it happened, I hit the jawbreaker, whipped my head up. His head was down. My head flew up. Back of my head cracked his tooth. Bobby fell to the floor. JDP standing in the ring, and I'm looking down like, oh my God, Bobby, I'm so sorry. You're the champion. I feel terrible. And JDP looks at me and is like, Stu, I think you need to go to hospital, mate. And I'm like, why? I had no idea at this point. And then I just felt the blood trickling down my face. And I felt the back of my head, and then my vision started going and started getting woozy, got laid down, tile on the back of my head. Just, it was previously white, it's now red. Yeah, just held that in the back of my head, just blood flowing, wouldn't stop. Luckily, we were training about 5 minutes away from the Royal Hospital at the time, which was very handy. And yeah, luckily didn't need stitches or anything. Did get 6 staples, if I'm remembering rightly, which sucked, but they were out in about a week's time. And yeah, it was all good. So nothing long term, thankfully, but that wasn't too fun.
The worst injury I ever had was breaking my collarbone about 3 months into being a trainee. That was fun. I was out for 6 months. Still there's a big lump right here where there's extra bone. That's my wrestling war wound. That happened pretty quick into my career, but same situation. Had to phone my dad to drive me to the hospital because I couldn't drive. So he wasn't happy. He shouted at me. My mum wanted me to quit, and I didn't. And here we are. Thank you. CJ.
I'm just a bit emotional, guys, at hearing both of those stories. First of all, you two are just such warriors, and I just want it to be acknowledged right now. Like, I have the privilege of working with two absolute warriors in this profession, and just incredible, both of you. As for me, probably I have been injured quite a lot. I've chipped my knees, I've chipped my elbows. Probably the most graphic injury I had was 2 weeks before my pro wrestling debut, when I had my nose kicked to the side of my face by Geordie Boy. That was fun. Good old Geordie Boy. And I then had to get it reset. And then for the first 3 months of my pro wrestling career, I wrestled with a broken nose. That every time I wrestled, the nose would move again and get rebroken. So I ended up making best friends with the nose guy at the hospital, because I was probably going on a bi-weekly basis to get my nose back into place.
And what's your most proudest moment in pro wrestling?
Pinning Morgana. Thank you.
Stunning Stu?
I think personally, right about a year ago, Conswater Community Centre, Gary Gibson and I standing in the center of the squared circle. I had a chair in my hands, standard walking back through the curtain, being chased by the bar merger. I lifted that chair, I looked at it, I looked at Gary Gibson, and I cracked him right in the spine with it, dropped him with a DDT, and stood over his lifeless body. And that's when the crowd at Conswater finally got to know the real stunning Stu Parker. Thank you. Thank you.
Stu, I was also very proud of you in that moment.
Thank you very much.
I can't answer that in one, because there was 3 moments for different reasons. The first would have been in the Hallians days when we didn't win the tag team titles, but we went the distance in the tag team gauntlet at Slamdemic 2022. And when we finished the match, we were left in the ring, and the entire crowd gave us a standing ovation. So that was number one, because it validated all of my training and hard work up to that point. Second, winning this, because I beat every single wrestler in Titanic to win it. So that just proved that I am now the best wrestler in Titanic. And then the third was actually quite recently. I was standing behind the curtain with these two beautiful people. And you know our entrance theme, Keaton. The show must go on by Queen. We hear that music hit, and all you hear is the intro, and the reaction from the crowd was so loud. Booing, but so loud. I don't care if you like me or you hate me, but you're damn sure gonna make noise. And I looked at these two and just go, we got him. That was my most recent Pride moment.
I'm just going to go into our watch along here. We can still talk in the middle of it, but for the
Oh, look, there's me pinning Morgana. For the second time.
so, how did that feel at that moment? Not even just at this moment, but just all of this match. How did you think it was?
Well, here JDP's trying to jump in the ring and he's not the legal man. Do you see that? You talk about us cheating, and we're literally watching an example of JDP cheating. How do you just try that, Keaton? Look at that slap. The best slap in professional wrestling, Madame Director.
How did you think that match went?
We won.
Didn't we?
I won.
Madam Director beat
I
Morgana.
think it went perfectly. It would have gone better
How
had
you cheering for Morgana?
now that embarrassing. You should have done better. You know better.
I was thrown against the rock hard body of stunning Stu Parker. You expect that not to put me down? I'm sorry.
Duck!
This moves like a
Duck!
machine.
Get out of the way.
You got her.
Okay, right. So this is the one thing about
You let
Morgana.
that happen.
Does anyone talk about how powerful her thighs are? Okay, I had no option there to be thrown out of the ring. Gotta give her something. She's got powerful thighs.
And for the who are your biggest rivals at Titanic?
Morgana.
I mean,
If I can even consider her a rival, since I beat her.
Yeah. She'd be lucky to consider you a rival, Madam Director. We think we all have different answers for that, though, Keaton. With Madam Director, as she said right now, it's Morgana. Stunning Stu, who would yours be?
bad guys, obviously. DJ in particular. He may not think it, but I still believe I have unfinished business with heavy metal Gary Gibson. Yeah, it's my top three.
And probably the
What's your
same as Stu, right? The minute our beef is with the bad guys and we need, well, we've actually beaten them twice in a row, so maybe that's just it. But I would say apart from them, it has to be Redmond and the likes of
Watch
Luther
this.
Superman.
Can't watch this bit.
This was uncalled for.
Look.
Is
Okay.
there a need?
Look at this. Look at the size difference here. And Madam Director is not backing down. Not for one
Never.
second. She is standing up to JDP right now. And look at this.
Look at this.
JDB's a gentleman putting you down, though.
Putting her down?
Putting me down.
Saved her.
He dropped me. I saved myself.
He would have thrown her into you. You were front row. You would have gotten a mouthful of Madam Director if I hadn't have kicked him in his big fat stomach.
Well, anyway, what's your most memorable match you've ever had?
To who?
We'll start with Madam Director.
This one. The one where I pinned Morgana. It's coming up. You'll see it.
We're getting there.
And now make sure to like wind that back and play it again, and then play it again for those who might have blinked or missed it.
Look how good I look. Can we just talk about that for a sec? Look how good I look.
Like, yours is beautiful.
I know, right?
I know.
It was a
Look
very
at us
red
all
match.
matching.
It's a very
You
red
pull it
match.
off. Those guys don't.
Can I just say as well, all of our arses look incredible. All of our arses.
Speak for
Can we
yourself.
skip over this part? I really
Yeah,
would
no,
rather
Keaton,
not
skip
watch
this.
it.
Keaton, skip this. Keaton, there's no need for this. This is a family show. There's no need. Keaton,
Look,
you can
you want to
skip.
talk about illegal acts?
You want to talk about
Keaton,
cheating?
skip this bit.
You want to talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
cheating?
Not right in the little stunners.
Keaton,
Right
that
in
was
the little
uncalled for.
stars.
That was uncalled for.
What's the most
Look at us.
memorable
The good
match you
guys
ever had?
back on top.
Right, answer Keaton's questions. Be nice.
Keaton, can I just say, it's really hard to answer your questions when we're so distracted by our own beauty. Look at that angle of me. I look incredible. And look at this. Madam Director going one-on-one with Morgana. Look at that. She was
Mhm.
ready. Oh. Always look behind you, Morgana.
Here
Here
we
it is.
go, everyone. Here we go. This referee
What
decided
is
to
it
take
with
the
these
sweet ass
referees?
time.
Yeah, can we talk about that? How a former Titanic referee is in this match, and then the referee nearly, until he realized there was no option but to count to 3, he nearly screwed up that count. Can we talk about that for a second?
That
It's so-
referee
that's the
doubted
reason.
me. The referee doubted me. That's what happened, Keaton. He doubted me. He thought I wouldn't be able to do it, and I did.
Even the referee doubted, but that's what I'm saying. That's how seismic that achievement is, Madam Director. You beat Morgana in your debut.
You don't gotta tell me twice. Oh, here the seasons.
This, that's me with my luscious Baron Hallions days, fighting
I'm
the
so glad you
standard.
got rid of it.
Thank you. I do think that I look a lot more handsome now. What do you think, Stunning Stu?
Oh, you said them both, but I'm taking this look right now.
Keaton, what do you prefer, the long hair or the short hair?
Long hair. Back in the Hallions days, you were 10 times better wrestler.
I was a better
Who
wrestler
do you
than
think you're
Hallions
talking
days, was I?
to?
Wow. Well, I just don't know how I'm supposed to. I've literally beat every single wrestler in the company since leaving the Hallions, but that's okay. Look how slick that is, though. I mean, I am pretty
Did
smooth.
you hear DJ list off all of those injuries he's had? Think twice before chatting.
Absolutely. Well, right now I do have Eddie Stone on the ropes here, so I've just flipped him with a beautiful head scissors, patented.
Majestic.
You see what I mean? You were way more skilled at that point, even nip ups and all.
But
He can nip up now.
Keaton,
You did it 2 matches ago.
you don't think that I can do all of this and a million things more, but the problem is I don't need to now, because now I can beat people with minimal effort, because I am in the Stars Aligned, one of the most dominant tag teams in Irish wrestling. See, this is how you separate people that know about wrestling and people that don't know about wrestling.
Exactly.
And here you got Big Ugly Redmond. I will tell you this, though, he did do a beautiful vertical suplex.
I'll tell you this, he looks uglier now.
Some people just,
He's
Really?
covering up his face.
you know,
When you talk about beautiful moves, you done that spear he done on you was like a sledgehammer. How'd that feel, Mohan?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Keaton, it sucked. Having Redmond's big fat head running into my midsection, it sucks.
It's
Cracked a
embarrassing.
few ribs. Alright, which one are you talking about? Are you talking about in my first match back?
Yeah, where you betrayed him.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, it's still played on every Titanic highlight package to this day, so at least I look good taking it.
What was it like acting in Broadway, New York?
Oh, Keaton. You know, it was what I was put on this earth to do. You know, to perform in front of sophisticated audience that pay a lot of money to see you. It was one of the things that I had to have some real scores to settle in order to come back to professional wrestling. and perform for the likes of you and the likes of this Titanic crowd after I performed to literally royalty and the top of celebrities. Liam Neeson came to see my show in New York City. And then a couple of months later, I have you booing me from the front row getting speared by Redmond. But you know what? It just goes to show you how much I love professional wrestling.
And how does it feel when you be called C-list actors?
Lies. We have an A-list actor right here.
Thank you very much. And now with Stu Parker by my side, we're literally swimming in A-list actors. So whenever I have someone like you and the other stupid Titanic fans chanting Z-list actors, do you know what? It doesn't even annoy me. It used to annoy me. It used to annoy me quite a lot. I'm not going to lie to you, Keaton. But now, we just rise above it. We rise above it because you
We're
don't
better
know
than
what you're talking about.
And we've got a comment coming in here from Bring Back Patty, who says, Z-list actors.
Bring back
Paddy,
Patty.
you for real? Who is Paddy? Who are we bringing back?
Patty, you're an idiot. Idiot. Don't Stu.
Stay where he is.
Stu, don't rile yourself up.
He doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't deserve it, Stu. Just relax.
I'm cool.
As you, especially Titanic wrestling shows are just selling out so quickly. Even for Titanic and just wrestling in Northern Ireland in general. What do you think? What do you think's this? What do you think is a big boom here that's making wrestling shows sell out so quickly?
Could be us.
Likely.
I am kicking ass in this clip. Can I just say that for a second? Like, you know.
Look at that. He does
Look
a
how good I am.
slingshot these days in the neck.
Look at that. I could learn something from myself. Sorry, Stu.
Answer the questions. Answer the questions. That's what we're here for.
I think wrestling is just really in another boom period right now, and it's like getting just as popular as it was in the Attitude Era and the Golden Era, and that translates to the local scene. Like WWE only comes here once, twice a year, maybe, whereas we're out there busting our asses every month, pretty much. And they recognize talent. They want to see talent. They want to pay to see talent, and we're that talent.
Wrestling Insider asks, who's the guy with the ladies' hair in the watching on?
Redmond. He's called Redmond. Yeah, his hair is quite feminine, I will say that.
Yep.
And will we ever see you back at NIPW? Will we ever see CJ Mohan reuniting with Redmond, even just in another place, in another dimension, maybe even in NIPW?
What you mean, teaming with Redmond again?
Mm-hmm.
It would take a lot of work for me and Redmond to ever be in the same room again. I'm going to be quite honest with you, Keaton. There's so much bad blood there. Oh, can you still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can still hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. And now my focus is on the stars aligned. I will say this though: the stars aligned do not want to just keep our talents within Titanic this year. Now that we've been spent a good year perfecting our craft as a group, we want to take that everywhere we can this year. Whether it's NIPW, CAW, Fight Factory, RCW, whoever wants to make a bit of business, the stars aligned are open for business, baby. And we guarantee we'll be the top merch sellers wherever we go. Isn't that right, Stu?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Now you're naming all these promotions that you want to go to. What do you think would be the number one promotion outside of Titanic that you'd aim to go to?
Madame Director?
Sorry, I was engrossed by your skill this year.
Look at that. Beautiful.
That was excellently executed.
That was flawless. That was
Maybe Keaton
stunning.
has a
I'll
point.
give you that.
Thank you. Yeah, you can just keep playing clips of me throughout the rest of the interview. This is absolutely fine. Well, I would honestly say we want to wrestle everywhere in Ireland first, but it's hard not just. The thing about the stars aligned is that we don't have to think small. Have literally performed on the grandest of stages already, so there's no limit to where we can take our talent. So I don't know about you guys, and I don't want to speak for my lovely madam director who literally runs our careers, but I'm thinking WWE.
I'm thinking aim for the stars.
Any
That's exactly the mentality that we're taking this year. Aim for the stars.
Well, if there's one thing that I think the Stars Aligned are good at, and that's character work and promo work, we're going to take a look at probably one of the best promos that Stars Aligned have done.
Yes, now we're talking.
Here we go.
Oh, that's just me Penny Morgana again.
Right.
You can keep it playing, it's okay.
Oh, look at that slap. Second best slap.
This is the promo I'm talking about.
Madam Director.
Woo!
Rocky Star and little Gary Gibson love guitars and dressing like musicians. They can't even play and I'm critically acclaimed. So time to grow up and get your gimmicks changed. Here for the cowbell. Beautiful.
Stunning stew.
The stars align,
And we're coming for you.
no rock is not invited, only stars allowed, the stars that shine. Rocky likes to wear the cute band. We sound good, don't we? Thought it looked cool, smoking.
Yeah, I've met
All live, Keaton. All live. Wrestling cannot contain our talent. We're the stars.
Oh, and stunning stew.
The stars align,
And we're coming for you.
no rock is not invited, only stars allowed, the stars that shine.
When we shine.
And lately Gibson has been on the loose. Hulk Hogan's love child with Beetlejuice. Woo! What a line. You gotta love it. Combo, Rocky Star and the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Wait for it.
Wait. We're the stars.
Oh, and
What a cowbell player Stunning Stu Parker is.
And we're coming for you.
No rock is not invited, only stars allowed, the stars that shine. I'm sorry for shouting at you, Stu. You did go on.
That's
a little
okay.
bit. You know what I
I
mean?
can understand why that might be annoying.
Mind your neck.
I just got excited.
It was just right in the ear. You know, it's just right in the ear.
Boys.
Here's another promo. That was not a
Okay,
promo,
this
but
is the
here's another
fifth
promo
time and
coming
she's
in.
not answering me,
It's probably my
Stu.
favourite
Should we
one.
just try my phone? Try your phone quickly.
I remember this.
She's not going to answer you if
Oh,
she
yes.
doesn't answer me, though.
Look, Madam Director is just trying to enjoy her holiday.
That was me at the Vatican, everyone.
Madam Director, hello. I hope you're enjoying Rome. Listen, I don't know if you're following social media over there, but at the fight before Christmas, it's been announced that it's going to be us versus the bad guys and Morgana.
Well, sure, that'll be 3-on-2 then. That's hardly fair.
There's me at some Roman ruins.
Doesn't just want us. She wants you. She wants to, and I quote, rip your head off?
What?
But that was
Sorry,
okay.
Madam Director.
That's me at the
Those
Pantheon.
terrible in Rome.
Yeah, it's real. You can't hear you at all.
1920.
I dropped that ice cream.
We'll talk to you when you get back, okay? Love you.
Love you. Bye. Oh, shit, that did not go well
Keaton,
at
you
all.
asked earlier about what our training sessions were like. Well, this is a glimpse.
We're good. We'll figure it
We're
out.
all
This is exactly what it's like.
What do you mean it's a 3-on-3?
See how fast Madam Director can move?
Don't
Like
worry.
anything you've ever seen. that promo.
This is the fifth
Mute it
time.
now. It's
No.
fine. Let's talk for a second. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Once again, blindsided. They love the
Daddy
blindside.
Daycare and his prodigal son.
Yeah. Not even Italian. Whatever.
I speak more Italian than DNA. Bellissima!
If you go back in time and
Look at
tell
that
your
suit.
younger self any piece of advice, what would it be?
If I could give myself any piece of advice, it would be don't question your path, because everything that you're achieving will lead you to where you're meant to be. So I could have started wrestling. And Stu could have started wrestling in the PWU days. But had we done that, we would never have seen the stars aligned. So sometimes you've just got to trust the path that you're on. And like attracts like. We never could have foreseen teaming with such a generational talent like Madame Director, who literally beat 3 of the top wrestlers in Titanic on her debut night. But we did. And now she has added that missing ingredient that's going to take us to greatness. Trust the path you're on.
What I would have told my younger self was to hire the stars aligned sooner. Get into the game sooner. Who knows? They could have had gold this year.
And Darren White says such talent. The guitarist was great, but the cowbell stole the show.
There you go, Stu.
I have to agree.
You're stealing the show, Stu.
He always
That's
steals the
pretty-
show. Stu, what advice would you give your
Nothing
younger
really.
self?
What advice would I give my younger self? Probably similar to what you were saying. Everything happens for a reason. Just gotta play the long game sometimes. Everything will work out. Just trust the process.
I'd have told you to get those pink trunks sooner.
Yeah. I look
How
good in those.
good
Like
does
the
Stu
red
look
one.
in pink? He just looks
He does.
so... Stu, you pull off any colour. That's why you're so stunning.
Really?
And for Madame Director, will we see more of Madame Director wrestling in 2025?
Oh, you bet. Well, it depends. It depends. Depends on the stakes. But I step up to the plate. I rise to the challenge when a challenge is presented to me. So, present me a challenge. Wouldn't want to give any spoilers of the movie of my life.
And for upcoming matches, do you have any? Do you figure out strategies, or do you just wait till you're in the ring?
Oh no, you strategize. You gotta strategize, Keaton. You can't be winging it. Well, do you know what? We'll keep it there. I don't know who's watching this. We'll leave it at that.
You're not obligated to give away any of your secrets, Madam Director.
You're right, I got carried away. Forgive me.
So you were victorious when Morgana called you out, and the stars line cheated. What will you take away from that match?
Take away that the stars aligned cheated?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have you know, Keaton, there is a difference between cheating and grabbing opportunities. Okay? Morgana let her guard slip. Alright? And I took opportunity, and I pinned her, and I beat her. So that's my takeaway, is that I am the better wrestler. I am stronger than Morgana. And everybody knows it now.
And if the stars aligned, you could have any dream match. Who would it be with?
Well, you've given me a dream match, you little punk. You just told me that the Buys could easily beat us earlier in this interview, and we kind of just brushed past that.
We did.
But-
I'd like to bring that up again.
But we are going to embarrass you, Keaton, at some point. If the bad guys want some, we've already beaten them twice. We will happily beat them again. But if we're ever put up against the Buys, we're going to show you why they are Buys and we are men. M-E-N. Men.
Apart from me.
Apart from you, you're a beautiful woman. But me and Stu, I mean, Madam Director.
So for man of director, the ladies division is great at Titanic right now. Do you have a message for any female on the women's division of Titanic?
My message would be keep working hard, keep showing up, keep showing this country that we have the best division. We have the best women's division in Ireland. But don't get too comfortable. That's my message.
And would you like to call out anyone now that we're live here? Is there anyone who the Stars Line would like to send a threatening message to or call out anyone?
Morgana.
And for the Stars Aligned, what is next for the Stars
Right.
Aligned in 2025?
Well, if the bad guys want to get their asses whipped once again, we'll happily do that. The guys have the tag team gold, we'll happily take that. Anyone who wants them, they can step up to the plate and try and knock us off, but we're way too high up in the stars. There's not a chance they can take us down.
Well said.
Thank you.
And how did man director end up wearing the trousers in this faction? Asks Scenic Spots.
Because I look better
Well-
in trunks.
You look
Scenic
better-
spots, there's that. Scenic spots. If you missed the start of this interview, the Stars Aligned, respectfully, were losers. They were losers at Titanic. They were losing every match that they were doing. They were making stupid mistakes. They didn't have strategies. They didn't have their heads in the game. And I
didn't.
saw them and I thought, you know what? If you're going to call yourselves the Stars Aligned, you may as well be stars. And what did I do? I made them stars. It's pretty obvious. If
That-
anybody would like to add, you can.
So I look forward to being you throughout 2025. So what match would you like to have in 2025 against any tag team?
Well, first of all, I want to go back to this whole trousers question that your good old friend Mr. Spots asked. Okay? First of all, there is no shame in being led by a woman, specifically not a woman as majestic and all round amazing as Madame Director. There has never been a more powerful woman in professional wrestling than Madame Director, and that you will see in 2025 in whatever way she plans to see it. So it is our honor and privilege to be led by greatness. It is our honor, and that is showed by how we are undefeated since aligning with Madame Director. Well, she can wear the trousers all she wants.
Here's a perfect example. Winners.
Look at that.
Via
Yeah, baby.
pinfall.
There
Do you
is
have an
a-
embarrassing moment or a funny moment that you can share?
From in a match?
Yeah, for mid match.
I mean, slapping Morgana in the face was kind of funny to
That
me.
was quite funny.
Not
That
to
was
her.
If JDP wasn't bashing my head off a chair, I would have been laughing, but it is what it is.
What was the question?
So
Listen.
when you were mid match, was there any like funny or embarrassing moment that you had?
Well, traumatizing, more like. It wasn't exactly fun when that big baldy referee DJ ripped the masks off our heads and cost us the Titanic Tag Team Championships. Made us look a little bit like fools being screwed twice in the same gauntlet match. Do you not agree, Keaton?
Yep,
Good.
I have to agree.
Yeah, you do.
But so coming up in 2025, will there be an opportunity? If there's an opportunity coming up for an individual glory, will we see a supernova?
A supernova?
Will we see all the stars aligned holding singles championships when we come up to 2025? Every individual has their eyes set on a championship.
And that's
Like
a great
you-
idea.
If you
That's a
just said
first.
it like that. Stu,
That is-
take it away.
I mean, coming up in the new year, resolutions. I mean, you know what? Why not? You know what? Why don't we just take all the championships? The men's, the women's, the All Ulster, the tags. We've already got the trophy. We're already the best looking. We're already the best wrestlers. Why don't we just run Titanic Wrestling and then go on up from there?
I like
Aim
the-
for the stars.
aim
Aim
for the
for the stars.
And Keaton, that is probably the smartest thing you've said in this entire. How long have you been going for? About an hour, something like that. I don't know. Feels longer.
Yeah,
The smartest thing you've said this entire interview, Keaton. The stars aligned are going to make a supernova in 2025. I love it. I love
I
it.
asked if they're going to make a supernova. I didn't predict that they're going to make a supernova.
You predicted. It was a rhetorical question. You predicted, Keaton.
Spoiler.
You can see greatness through a Zoom camera.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have a letter coming out for the Bearded Beauty of Titanic? Suppose the Santa Claus of Titanic. Do you have a letter of wishes to give to the owner of Titanic Wrestling?
Santa Claus and
Christmas
his
list.
Are you talking about a Christmas list?
Yes, to someone like the Bearded Beauty, JDP, the Santa Claus of Titanic Wrestling.
The Santa Claus of Titanic?
Mm-hmm.
He does look a bit like Santa.
He does.
That's about
If
it.
he wants to buy me new chaps, then I'll gladly take them, but I'll look his ass in them.
DJ is such an elf, isn't he? He's such an elf.
He is.
Do you know what? You're right.
And his
Do you know what,
little
Keaton? I
helper.
see where you're coming from now. I see the vision.
Oh my god, yeah. Okay, right. So yeah. On that note, do we have a Christmas message for Santa Claus and his elf? You're gonna have to just sit back and wait. Because if there's one thing that we can promise, the stars aligned always have something planned. So just you wait, young sir.
Yeah, so I look forward to booting you all through 2025 and for the rest of your careers. But anyway, thanks very much for coming on to the show. It's been great having you on.
The
Like,
cheek!
all yours.
But the pleasure's all yours, Keaton.
All yours.
So thanks for coming on. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye now.
If the stars align.
I just don't like you very much.
So that was a great show with the stars aligned there. What a great show that was. So as for Kayfabe Keaton, we'll be seeing you next 2025. But we've got a great guest coming up next year. We'll have none other